The most. And this man is going to tell my mom, like, oh, yo quería que ella fuera abogada, okay, y yo quería tener un papá en mi vida, but I guess we both ain't going to have that.
What is up, everyone? I'm your host, Alanized, and this is Noche de Pendejadas, your favorite talk show turned podcast en donde yo traigo a tus influencers favoritos para platicar y posiblemente sacarles sus trapitos al sol. Please help me welcome tonight's guest, Melly Sanchez.
Hi,
hello. ¿Cómo estás, mi amor?
I'm a little nervous, pero excited to be
se te van a
here.
quitar los nervios. Lo bueno que ahorita con un shot se te quita. You know what? Vamos a empezar el episodio con un pinche shot. Chingue su madre.
Let's do it. Oh
okay.
my God.
Pa' arriba, pa' abajo, pa' el centro y pa' adentro.
I'm gonna do it sin limón, fuck it. Ooh. Yeah, that should do it.
Whew. That's gonna have me drunk already, bitch. After weight loss surgery, después de 2 shots, yo ya ando en el piso abriendo las patas. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/noche and get on your way to being your best self. Do you ever find that just as you're trying to fall asleep, your brain suddenly won't stop talking? Do your thoughts start racing right before bed or at an inopportune time? It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk them out. Therapy gives you the place to do that, so you can get off your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. If you're thinking of starting online therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's extremely online, designated to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get a break from your mental thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/noche today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/noche. And once again, thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring today's video. I'm so excited to have you here. How are you?
I'm great. It's been so long. You look
It's
amazing,
literally been
bitch.
so long. If you guys don't know, I've been knowing Melly ya por mucho tiempo. Pienso que la primera vez que te conocí fue exactamente, I think like 2017. Do you remember?
I thought you were gonna say 27 years ago.
You're like, bitch,
I'm like, bitch, wait, hold
I'm 25. No. Do you remember when we met?
No, girl, I'm probably
She's
drunk.
like, no. She's like, today? Me? No, let me see if you
Was
remember.
it BH? Maybe?
No, it was in New York. I met you before you moved to LA.
Where?
I remember I had gone for a Laura Geller event, and we had both met up there, and then we went to dinner.
Oh no, that was here when you had the collection with them. That
was here. No, but I met you in New York when I was still in talks with them when the collection was still happening, and we went to dinner.
Bitch, I don't.
She's like, bitch, this is the first time I remember seeing you.
I have
but
the
it was
worst
a long
memory.
time. I have really good memory. So I remember la primera vez, me acuerdo that we went to like a New York freaking restaurant, y después de eso, I think a los meses te mudaste para acá.
Yeah, okay. So
But I've known Melly for such a long time, you guys. So yo estoy súper emocionada de tenerla aquí porque siento que tus fans y la gente que te sigue te conocen, pero muy poquito.
Claro.
Y siento que también yo te conozco muy poquito, so siento que hoy tengo el privilegio de poder conocerte un poquito más. Before we get started with the real tea, yo quiero pasarte el micrófono a tu amiga para que tú te introduzcas and tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
So me llamo Melly Sanchez. My Instagram is The Fashion Freak. I also go by that as well. I'm in the beauty industry, been doing it since 2016. I also have YouTube, but I'm barely on it. But yeah, so beauty industry, beauty creator.
You have been doing it for a long time. Yo me acuerdo que in 2016, and I feel like in 2016 you really rose to fame super quickly. Me acuerdo cuando it was super popular to do the little tutorials. Tú eras bien fregona para eso, amigas. Y hoy te traigo aquí para saber un poquito más de tu historia. So vamos a empezar con la primera pregunta que yo le pregunto a todos. How was Melly Sanchez as a kid? ¿Cómo fue tu infancia? Tell us a little bit more about that.
I would say it was pretty lonely. It was sad, yeah. I mean, I'm the only child, so it was just me and my mom a lot. And then growing up was just kind of like alone, hablando sola with the
You're
little
like to my
dolls.
camera.
No, literally with dolls, just like Very, very boring. That's why I'm like, if I do have like a child, I have to have two. I would not do this to them.
You're like, I would not do this to me.
No, literally, it's so boring. Like I used to love when my cousins would come and I'm like, oh my God. And then you get like that high and then they leave and it's like, okay, here.
You're like, this is life. I'm like, boring.
Yeah.
So obviamente después de eso, you go into school. How were you in school? Were you like the popular girl? Were you like, the shy girl? ¿Cómo eras tú in school?
In high school or like just...
Middle school, high school. Lo que te acuerdas tú.
I was popular for sure. Yeah, like... I started gaining like popularity because I was like very developed at that age already, like tall, con tetas, a little bit of nalgas, not like this much, but Yo nací en Santo Domingo, well, no en Santo Domingo, República Dominicana, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 9 with my mom, so that was a process to say the least. Tú sabes, like no sabiendo el idioma, and then you have to like just adjust to everything new, a whole new system, way of living. It's crazy.
How was that like for you? Yo sé que obviamente, viniendo de a whole different like country, coming to the United States, ¿cómo fue eso y cómo te impactó a ti a tu vida?
Muchísimo, to say the least. Fue ¿cómo que se dice? It was a change, un cambio drástico. Like in DR, I used to live like where my grandmother, so it was like una granja, like in the woods. Like it was just not the same. And then I moved to New York and it's like, people and city and
crowded.
Exactly. So that's where all Dominicans, I feel like, migrate, and Puerto Ricans, we go from DR or PR straight to New York. But I mean, it was good though. It was fun once I learned the language. But when I didn't know it, girl, that was bad.
Obviamente, you come, from a different country, y vienes a Nueva York. How was that for you? Like, the whole settling in, obviously New York is known for being crazy, fast-paced. How was that for you? Was it hard for you as a child? Obviamente, ni hablabas el idioma. ¿Cómo lo hiciste tú to, like, make yourself feel comfortable in a new world?
Tengo que decirte like a little bit of the backstory. So my mom came here a year before me, and then she left me back in DR for a whole year with like so she had, it's a long ass story, sorry.
Cuéntanos, amiga. Tenemos tiempo. Hoy tenemos tiempo.
It's a long story. So before I was born, my mom had another child, which would have been my older brother, but he ended up passing when he was like 1.5 from like a stomach virus that was going around at the time. So then I was born like 5 years later, but with a different dad, because his dad died as well. It's a crazy story. But when my mom moved here, she left me with my older brother's family, dad's family. Not, they're not technically related to me, but she trusted them or whatever. But girl, that was horrible to see. The things that I went through that year, like I was in like hell. I used to cry tears, girl, night and day. And I'm like praying to God, like, can my mom just come get me? Can my mom just come get me? So obviously when I finally came here, like, it was a change. And it was like, I didn't know el idioma, no sabía nada, pero I'm like, my mom's there. I don't give a fuck.
I have a safe space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about nothing else. We'll figure it out. But like, I don't have to deal with that shit that I was dealing with. That's all that mattered. So that's like the feeling I remember. And it's like, it was new. But once I started going to school and I was like getting like bullied a little bit because I didn't know the English and like...
How was that? Like, do you feel like the bullying impacted you?
Yeah, it forced me to learn fast. I was like, I am not having this shit. Like,
¿cuántos años tenías cuando llegaste aquí?
Cuando yo llegué tenía 9. So I was supposed to go to 5th grade. And then, si tú no sabes el idioma in New York, like they put you back a grade. So girl, I had to go to 4th grade all over again. So I'm there, don't know anything. They put me in like ESL. And then, but these kids, they've been here. They were born here. They're just in ESL because the parents want them to learn Spanish, not the other way around. So it was chaos. Like, I remember we had like a bus driver, and then you had to tell it was a she actually. She used to like assign seats. So as you were coming in the bus, she's like telling me like, sit here. My mom made me memorize our address. Okay. So when I got in the bus and she's telling me like, sit here. I'm thinking she's telling me like, where am I going? Where do you live? So I keep repeating the address. And
porque
she's
no
like,
sabía.
Porque no sabía, no entendía ni nothing, like nada.
Yeah, ¿qué chingados está diciendo esta vieja?
So I keep repeating the address and she's like, sit here. Like she was getting like aggressive. And I'm just like repeating repeating the address, and I'm like, I don't know, like, you know, confused. I almost started crying. Then, thank God, this little girl that knew both languages, she came and she's like, no, te está diciendo que te sientes ahí. And I was like, oh, hell no.
You're like, oh, you're arguing with
oh
it.
my God, bro, I wanted to sink in that fucking seat and just die. And I told my mom, like, I don't want to go to school. Take me out of that fucking school. And she was like, no, you have to go. And I'm just like, by fifth, like almost sixth grade, I already knew English.
You already knew. Okay, so
by
it
sixth
took you
grade,
what,
I
like
was
a
out.
year?
Like a year and a half.
You know what's so crazy? Yo pienso que los dos tenemos kind of similar stories. Aquí me voy a sentar yo enfrente de tú y por primera vez. Oh my God, I'm literally shaking porque I've been doing social media for over 10 years and I've never really have talked about like my immigration status. You know, like yo nunca en mi jamás, ever. Not that I was ashamed, but it was just more like I feel like my content is very much like talking shit. Y por mucho tiempo yo tenía miedo que pues sharing something that was so vulnerable to me was gonna create like a space for people to talk even more shit about me. Y yo aquí a los 25 años, por primera vez, puedo decir que soy undocumented. Literally, I'm literally shaking porque en verdad me da muchos nervios, you know, opening up about it. And me being all drunk.
Me too.
And I feel like as a kid, I struggled because, you know, sentía como que estaba en un lugar en donde no pertenecía. And I feel like, you know, after opening up about this, siento que mucha gente, obviamente, are going to criticize me. Van a decir que, ay, ¿cómo lucras about being Mexican and you're not even proud about, you know, being born in Mexico? But for me, oh my God, me getting nervous. But for me, it was never about, you know, being proud. It was more about, you know, the bullying. You know, as a kid, yo me acuerdo que me hacían mucho bullying por not being born here or for even speaking the idioma. It made me go into like a very dark space where as soon as I started learning the English language, I wouldn't even talk about like where I was from. Yes. It was very much like survival mode. It was very much like estás en un nuevo lugar. Don't let anyone know what you're vulnerable about. Y and I feel like for a long time, yo siento que me sentía menos que mis compañeros. Me sentía como de que, wow, I'm not enough, no pertenezco a estar aquí. Did that ever happen to you?
Oh my God, 100%. That's why I'm like, you're literally giving me chills right now. So I'm like the same as you. So my mom came here first and then she paid for someone to like, you know, bring me here. I'm also undocumented. Thanks to like the DACA program, that's why I'm able to work and, you know, support my mom, which is fucking nuts. So I get you 1,000% with like not tell. That was like one thing. It was like a secret. Like I kept that shit like, oh, hell no one, not even my friends would find out. I would make up so many excuses when they would invite me. Like, let's go to Miami. Let's go to Disney World. We're going to. Girl, when my friends that were Dominican, we're going to DR. You should come. And I'm just like, oh no, like that. I'll make anything up to not have to say that because my thing is a little different though because I witnessed growing up, some of my family members used to use that shit against my mom. And they would threaten her. Like, they had to keep her in check. Like, we know where you live. Si me hace esto, me hace otro, te llamo la migra. Like, so, girl, as a child, learning that, I'm like, oh, hell no.
It's
like
the trauma.
Don't trust nobody with that shit. You know what I mean? Like, now I feel a little bit better to talk about it because at least we have that cushion. But I feel like if we didn't have that, I probably wouldn't even say it till this day because it's just like you never fucking know.
And it's so crazy because as kids, nos ponen esto en la mente. Yo me acuerdo. I remember the reason why I stopped. And you know what's so crazy? I've talked about it on my channel a little bit. There's a specific story that kind of made me, you know, change my whole outlook in life, especially being undocumented. Yo me acuerdo que me llamaban el frijolero, el hijo de la frijolera, and they would call me Beaner. You guys know the story. My mom dropped beans, but it became a thing since I didn't know English at the time. They would call me Beaner in English. Y yo me acuerdo que being in first grade, you know, knowing that you're in a place where you don't belong, me sentía feo. Y yo voy a decir una cosa honestamente, you guys, yo por mucho tiempo, igual que tú, I would hide it. I would kind of mask it and be like, ni me pregunten la pregunta porque no se las voy a responder. And the reason why I would do that is because, you know, tenía miedo. Tenía muchísimo miedo. Yo sé que después de este episodio, mucha gente a lo mejor are gonna hate, pero la mayoría de la gente that are probably gonna hate are people that either are Mexican but that are born in the States y tienen el privilegio de tener papeles. Igual como tú y yo tenemos el privilegio de tener DACA. That's already a privilege that we have over people that are undocumented.
Yeah, no, 1,000%.
And it's crazy because, you know, as kids, we were kind of forced into like, be not embarrassed, but be scared of saying who you are. Because I feel like growing up, my mom would be like, no le digas a nadie.
Yeah.
You know, esto es nuestro secreto. Like, don't tell anyone. And I feel like for a long time, it made me feel, you know, scared.
Yeah,
you know,
same.
a mis amigos, my best friends didn't even know.
Mine either.
Until, I want to say maybe a couple years ago.
No, literally. One of my best friends, like for years, she didn't know until my mom actually, like, se le salió something about her. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, but...
Isn't that scary though, cuando se le sale?
I know. I'm like, what did you do? But then I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I trust her.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? It's crazy though, because I'm sure you probably had a panic attack at the time, porque yo me acuerdo la primera vez. Because my siblings are born here. So funny story, very short because it's not my episode. But
girl, I'm here to
I have
listen.
4 siblings. Dos de mis siblings were not born here, and 2 of my oldest siblings were born here. They're older. Yeah, so yo soy el más chiquito.
Okay.
So yo me acuerdo que cuando yo estaba chiquito, mis hermanos iban a México, you know, they would go on during the summer. Y pues yo me quedaba en casa, you know, being bored, just missing out. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/noche and get on your way to being your best self. Do you ever find that just as you're trying to fall asleep, your brain suddenly won't stop talking? Do your thoughts start racing right before bed or at an inopportune time? It turns out one great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to talk them out. Therapy gives you the place to do that, so you can get off your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. I think it's super helpful to learn positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. Therapy isn't just only for those who've experienced major trauma. Y por eso a mí me encanta BetterHelp, because puede ayudarles a muchos. If you're thinking of starting online therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's extremely online, designated to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Get a break from your mental thoughts with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/noche today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/noche. And once again, thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Obviamente, you move over here, tu mamá, you know, te trae un mundo nuevo, you adapt to it, thankfully. Nos has contado que tu mamá es una single mama. How was that for you? ¿Cómo fue crecer without having a father figure?
I didn't really feel his absence as much as I would think it should have affected me in a way. Because my mom is just very overly, like, loving. Like, demasiado.
She's like, yo soy mamá y papá.
No, literally, like, mamá, papá, hermano. Like, bro, it's a little bit too much sometimes. But I feel like because she lost, you know, my brother, I feel like now she's, like, overpouring. So I never felt a lack of anything damn near. Like, she busted her fucking ass for me not to feel anything. Like, even growing up, that's why I became so popular. I used to have, like, all the new sneakers. Like, you would have never thought I was coming out of, like, a single parent household.
Like, you would have never thought a bitch was struggling.
No, hell no. We masked the fuck out of that shit. But, yeah, I didn't really feel his absence until, like, I don't know, like, later on in life. I feel like now I can reflect a little bit. And I'm like, damn, like, my life didn't really have to be the way it was. It could have been a fucking smooth motherfucking ride on a fucking limo somewhere, bitch. And you had us on a fucking, I don't know, on a bus in New York City standing up. Like, no, like, it's just,
To this day, ¿todavía no tienes comunicación con tu papá?
No, yo hablo con él. Yo hablo con él, like, he calls sometimes, but it's just not there. Like,
it's just not, there's no connection. It's just like, I know you're my dad, but no lo siento.
Exactly.
You know, obviamente, you know, you struggled a lot, you know, growing up, trying to adapt to a new life. You know, obviamente, creciste sin papá. Do you recall a moment in your childhood that you feel like affected you and really, you know, transformed you into the woman you are today?
I had a couple of those. I'm like...
You're like, a lot, actually.
Well, I feel like when my grandmother died, I was 7 at the time. And it was bad. It was so bad. It was so sad. Because she was so nice, like loving. Like, my mom even tried to put a finger on me. Like, she was like, hell no. Like, no le de.
Te defendía, yeah.
Yeah. So that was heartbreaking. That was like my first heartbreak. And then...
when she passed?
Yeah, when she passed.
¿Cuántos años tenías?
I was like almost 8, like very close to 8, if not 8. It was like around there. But my mom wasn't. So my mom was here already.
Okay.
My mom didn't even get to bury her mother. Yeah.
That must have been hard for her.
Yeah, no, that's hard. That was crazy. So my mom had like less than a year, and she's like, ¿Pa qué vine pa este maldito país? Like, she used to cry. It was so sad. So I kind of like knew, I was young, obviously, but I kind of like knew a little bit of what was going on, and I'm just like, damn, like, she really couldn't even come and be a part. Like, you're grieving miles and miles away, and you can't do nothing. You can't
do nothing about it. Yeah.
So that, I feel like, shaped me a little bit. Like, I was like, all right, like, you have to thug it out. Like, I had to. My mom would call me when I was staying with that family, and literally, probably I would have just got my ass whooped like 10 minutes before the phone call. So at that time, it was like landlines. So they would have one landline on the other side, like listening to what I'm saying to her. And I'm over there like talking to her like nothing. I'm like, oh no, like I'm good. I'm fine. Like everything's good. Like I can't wait to see you. Like I held it down. I didn't tell her a thing that they were doing to me until I got here. Then I told her everything. But yeah.
Porque tenías miedo, you know. You had to kind of be like, oh, I'm good, because you know they're listening.
They're listening, that too. But I'm like, damn, my mom paid all this money, because I overheard all the shit that was going on. Paid all this money, did all this thing, didn't even get to bury my grandmother for what? If I would have told her the shit they were doing to me, she would have went back and fuck everything. So I'm like, let me just, like, a year. I used to count the fucking days, bitch. I used to be like, oh my God, one more month of this shit. It was literally like that bad.
¿A los cuántos años did you go to New York?
A los 9.5.
So obviously,
it was June of 2003. So my birthday is December. So I would have been.
Shit, that's crazy. So todavía estabas super small. Yo también, yo me acuerdo que entré en el 2001. En el 2001. Shit. So obviamente you went through middle school, high school. There comes a point where everyone, you know, after high school starts getting a job. How difficult was that for you, obviamente, being undocumented in New York, out of all places, New York?
Girl,
how was that for you?
Creciendo en Nueva York and not having, no tenía papeles, it was so bad. Oh my God. So everyone was, first of all, traveling everywhere when holidays would come. You can't go. Then I was turning like 16, so everyone's getting their license, their permit, this and that. And I'm like, till this day, I still don't even know how to drive.
You're like, bitch, I don't even know how I got here.
Bitch, I don't even know. Literally, I don't even know how to drive, because I'm like, okay, learn how to drive for what? Can't get a license, can't get a car, can't get this. I'm like, that is not my lane. Let me just stick to my fucking lane. So that was that. And then working too. I couldn't work until I was 21.
Yeah.
So legally, like, you know, I was like doing makeup and here and there, like on people and whatever, but like that was not sufficient enough to make an impact and like bills and shit, you know. So I would see my mom like struggling, like going to work, busting her ass, and I'm like, damn, I can't even
help.
I can't even do shit. So I just always felt the feeling like, fuck, I saw my mom go through all this shit. I have to, like, before she, God forbid, passes, like, I have, this role's got to reverse. Like, and I swear to God, I'm getting chills, bro. I don't know how it just worked. It just happened.
Like right when you were starting, yeah.
Like, it just happened. Then Obama came out with the thing, and then I was like, okay. I still was like, is it going to work or not? And then it did, and it's still going. And I'm just like everything that I've been able to do for her while she's here,
it's a blessing.
It's a fucking blessing.
So, obviamente, you know, a los 21 años, you know, you're able to apply for DACA. You get DACA. And if you guys don't know, DACA is a program for immigrant children that came here to the States, en donde les dan la oportunidad de trabajar legalmente, which is something that Melly has and I myself have. Yeah. ¿Cómo sientes que ese programa te cambió la vida a ti?
Oh, drásticamente, like day and night. I went from not working, couldn't have a job, didn't even have like a goal. Like I couldn't even think past, you know, like I don't even know what the fuck, like past anything that was cash. I couldn't think past that. Like if I can't make money cash on my own, like where am I gonna go, you know? So I couldn't even think past a certain level. It took me from that to like you can do anything,
yeah.
literally. So it was like literally from 0 to 1,000, if that. Like, it changed my life drastically. Like,
it's crazy because, you know, at 21, a lot of people at 21, they already have their goals, their life figured out. You know, obviamente yo me acuerdo que I applied for DACA maybe when I was 15, 14, so the job aspect wasn't you know, a big thing for me because todavía vivía con mis papás. I remember this one time cuando trabajé en la feria. My only job that I've had in the feria, I remember one of my friends that was a manager there, we had to go apply. And, you know, tienes tu tarjetita de trabajo.
Yeah, yep.
And yo me acuerdo que yo la trataba de esconder. You know, I would put it on top of my ID, you know, para que no la miren. And me acuerdo que ese muchacho was like, oh, you have DACA?
Oh my God.
Y me sentí bien feo because I'm like, oh my God, like, I feel like in the moment you just feel less than the people that are telling you what you have because you're like, you kind of are less in a state where you don't have papers, you know, not in like a moral stand, but like te tratan como menos, you know.
Yeah, you can't get to a certain point.
You can't. You literally can't
it's
work.
It's like we have obstacles. Like,
literally, it's like harder.
Yeah.
And now imagine the people that don't even have DACA, like it's even harder for them. So obviamente, I'm very fortunate to have DACA and to be able to be a part of the program porque en verdad, la pura neta, el planeta a mí me cambió la vida. So, you know, you get DACA, you're 21. ¿En qué momento did you start doing social media? ¿Cómo pasó todo eso?
Okay, so eso pasó like a couple years down the road. You know, I started getting like trabajos ahí like that were, you know, I started to being able to help for sure. So then I started working at Bloomingdale's and I wanted to go for makeup, but they didn't hire me for makeup. But the guy was like, I like you though, you're pretty. Like, what about fragrance? Like women's fragrance. It started with men's, but then he moved me to women's. But it's like, all right, fine, fuck it, fragrance, whatever. The way that whole like beauty department was set up, the fragrance counter was like right across from the MAC and NARS counter. So all the women that were going over there, we have to pass through us first. So they would always be like, oh, can you do my makeup at NARS? Can you do my makeup at MAC? And I'm like, that's not how it works. Like, they would fucking put my head on a stick if I step behind that counter, you know? So I'm like, oh, no, I can't. They'd be like, but how did you do this? And what do you use for this? And I'm just like, mind you, I'm on commission as well. So you're wasting my time because I can't sell you makeup, you know? So it's like, if you're not going to buy this fucking fragrance, then get the fuck.
Yeah, like, you know? I'm here for the money, Literally. I don't care what you need help with.
Like, go over there. So,
que te ayuden ellos, porque yo aquí estoy vendiendo perfume, güey.
But they don't, ellos no lo entienden. They think that if you work for the store, you can do any, like, no, there are rules and regulations. But anyway, so it was like holiday season and I was pissed because my feet hurt and I got home and I'm like, bro, working all these hours and this one fucking lady wasted like an hour of my day because you can't be rude either, you know? Tiene que quedarte ahí. And she's just talking about makeup. And I'm like, fuck. And then, I told my best friend at the time, and I was like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, they're going to keep wasting my fucking time. She's like, oh, my God, why don't you start doing these little, like, it was 15-second videos.
15 seconds on Instagram,
15 seconds. So we grabbed, like, one of my old fucking, I don't know, some old fucking camera there, a lamp, a yellow lamp, you know, those old, like, from the living room. Took the little head off of it so it could be brighter. Hilarious. And then I just filmed, I think it was like a whole tutorial. I think I did, it was so fast, bitch. Like, I don't even know how you could even catch what I was doing.
I don't even know it was a tutorial.
Girl, I don't even know. It was just like,
I'm like, I didn't teach the bitches nothing.
Nothing, bitch, nothing. But, so I started with that shit and I gained like 1,000 to like 3, I don't know, like around there. But I gained a lot of followers of that little video. And I was like, okay, period. But still, I didn't think anything of it like you can make money. I was like, okay, cute. Like, I'll keep posting, whatever. And that way I could tell the people that came to the counter, like, follow me on Instagram. I post videos there of what I use and blah, blah, blah. That was the whole purpose behind it.
Yeah. You're like, pa que ya no me digan nada. Vayan a ver mis videos. Y
no,
cállense.
literally. So then Kiss reached out to me through email. And they were like, we'll pay you, I think it was like $2,000 or $5,000. I was like, bitch.
You're like, ¿qué estoy haciendo aquí? You're like, bye.
I was like, fuck this shit. I quit. No, but before that's the moment that I was like, okay, can I do this? Like, that's when my foot started to
like,
get
there's
itchy.
money involved in this industry. Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck this. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I always felt like I was too good to be there anyways, but I mean, not like, but you know, like, I was Like,
you wanted more for yourself. Te
yes.
mirabas en otro lugar mejor.
Exactly, because there were people there that were like, oh, I've been working in this store for 30 years. And I'm just like...
And you're like, what does the store do for you?
Bitch, 30
Nothing.
years? Girl, fuck no. I'm like, hell no. So after that, this is the moment that I was like, fuck this. You know what happened? The same manager that was like, I can't hire you for NARS, but I'll hire you for fragrance. He called me to the back office. So he's like the floor manager. Like, he oversees every counter. So he's like, I thought I was in trouble, bitch. And he's like, so it's come to my attention that you're very popular online. At that time, I had like 250K or something like that. So I was like, oh, yeah, I do little video. Like, I'm trying to like downplay myself, bitch. Like, girl, I should have walked in there like,
bitch. Girl.
Yeah.
No,
like,
bien humilde tú, la Melly.
Girl, like an idiot. And then he's like, so what do you think about we do a meet and greet for you at the store? And I'm like, okay, yay, let's do it. Like, my dumb ass. You get paid to do a meet and greet. I agreed to do it. And literally, like, almost like 70 girls. I have footage of this shit.
Yeah.
70 fucking girls showed up to the store. They had to buy a $25 gift card to be...
to meet you.
To meet me. And then they had like a whole backdrop, Melly, Bloomingdale's ex Melly Sanchez, like a whole fucking thing.
And
I
you
had
got
to...
zero.
No, bitch. I had to clock in before I went over there. Like, ding, put my little employee number and go and do a whole meet and greet that working in this industry, how much that would have been.
Yeah.
That would have been a cute coin. Yes, bitch, no. I didn't get, like, nothing. Maybe, like, less than $100 for that shit. Yes. After that, because I was like, damn, no one's going to show up. Like, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, you're
fuck
dumb
it, I'll
as
do
fuck.
it para quedar bien con el manager.
Exacto. Pero en mi cabeza, I was like, no one's coming. It was like midwinter in New York. I'm like, no one's fucking moving a finger, bitch, for me. Who the fuck am I? Girl, when my mom was there, my mom, my aunt, a couple of my cousins, my mom is like, no, Melly, se está llenando. And I'm like, llenándose. I'm still like, maybe people are just curious to see, like, people walking through the store. Yeah.
What's this event? Yeah.
No, bitch. My mom was like, no, they're asking, like, where's the Melly Sanchez thing? And I'm like, oh, my God. That's when it started to hit me. After that event, I was like, nah, fuck this shit. I was like, even if I fail, I can always come back and get my job back. I know that for a fact. Because I was outselling some of the people that were there for years, bitch, and I was not taking that job serious at all. Like, they would be there calling their clients, and I'm just there like...
Y'all just sitting pretty. Es porque te miraban con your face pita. Like, I want her to help me.
Yeah, exactly. Or then if the guys were, which is bad, I shouldn't even be saying this, but if the guys were coming to buy fragrance for their girl or wife, then they want to come to me to help. And like,
la bonita, you're like, para agarrar su pinche taco de ojo, ¿verdad? Girl, how was quitting for you?
Oh, it was scary. Like, it felt good, but it was also scary because I'm just like, okay, now what? It's not like, okay, Kiss is going to pay you this every month, It's like, here you go, and then what? Like, what if the next thing doesn't come? But I was like, you know what, fuck it. You need to treat this like a job. So I used to wake up, film, edit, like back to back to back to back. And that's how you're like telling me, like, oh, you blew up. Like, yeah, because I was like, bitch, waking up, like I had to go to work. Like, I would take that shit so serious. It was not even funny.
That's crazy. So obviamente, you quit your job. Mm-hmm. You were saying que you had that $5,000, that you were thinking you're going to get monthly. Was there any... yeah, because it's not promised monthly,
No.
Especially back then, I feel like the industry was so new that I remember even getting offered $500 was like, wow, estoy rico. So obviamente you make this big leap. Was there ever people around you, family, friends, that doubted your decision?
Girl, they were talking so much shit about me. They were like, oh, dejó el trabajo. And now, like, ¿qué va a hacer para dinero? Like, eso no, ¿cómo ya va a hacer dinero con eso? Like, they were so shook. And then the PR starts coming daily. And mind you, I didn't live alone. Like, me and my mom lived in a room with, like, my aunt, my cousin, like, and they were like the guys. Oh, my God. So everybody kept saying, Diablo, FedEx, UPS, coming to the door, and they're like, what the fuck? They just see packages. And they still were like, seguro se lo dan free, but they're not going to pay her shit. Like, it's crazy how, like, the closest people to you are the ones that want to pull your leg down. Like, they want to keep you grounded so bad instead of like, oh, yeah, good for you. Like, no, bro. They were talking so much shit. They're like, oh, she should be in school. And, like, telling my mom, like, oh, my daughter just did this. So, like, when they went to school and shit. even my dad, because my mom and my dad do talk still, and I talk to him as well. Even he was like, oh, ¿y para qué no dejó la universidad para eso? Like, da-da-da. And I'm just like, you weren't even paying for that shit. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, like why are you why are you having an input?
First of all, we don't even get financial aid.
Yeah, literally.
The fuck? Money was...
It's expensive. It's expensive. The books, bitch.
The books, the everything, bitch, everything. I was just like, even traveling to get to school, bitch. Again, I didn't drive. I had to take a train. But like, girl, go through
the most.
The most. And this man is going to tell my mom like, oh, yo quería que ella fuera abogada. Okay. Y yo quería tener un papá en mi vida. But I guess we both ain't going to have that. So let's keep it pushing.
Yeah.
Like, it was just annoying. I had a lot of people that try to like degrade it. They still wouldn't see it. I feel like they maybe like got a little like...
Taste of it
when I moved out here.
How was that for you? Obviamente, you know, you're living in New York and you make the decision of moving across the country to LA. How was that for you?
It was scary as fuck. I honestly always wanted to come. I would have never done it if it wasn't for someone I was friends with at the time, like pushing me. Like they were like, oh, like, you know, let's do it, like fuck it, whatever. So I'm like, how am I gonna leave my mom? That was my thing. Like, my mom's never gonna let me do this. So I had to lie to her, bitch. Like, and tell her it was only gonna be a 6-month move because I'm working with a brand and we're gonna go work in a pallet and they're gonna rent an apartment for me. She didn't even know. Mind you, I'm paying rent here, helping her with rent there. Like, she thinks I'm just like here working. So the 6 months obviously go up and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm not going back. Like, fuck that. So I told her shit up. I was like, I'm just gonna stay. Like, I'm staying. Like, what are you going to do now? I'm here.
Like, ya estoy aquí. Ven por mí, pues.
Exactly. Girl, it was so bad. So, it was a process, but I don't know. I feel like I handled that whole year. That was like a horrible year.
In what way? Like, do you feel like it was just tough to adjust?
Definitely. I mean, first of all, moving to LA is fucking insane. Like, you go through so much fake shit. And so, it's like moving from DR to New York is nothing
compared to moving
from like New York. And with the mindset that I had, I was so like, because I'm from New York, but I'm from like the suburbs.
Yeah.
So I'm very like always home, didn't club.
Más tranquila.
Claro.
Yeah.
To move to a city que Mondays they're partying, Tuesday party, like literally would not stop. Yeah. So it did kind of like throw my focus off a lot, I feel like, a lot. And then it was like friendships that were fucking fucked up, that I had to like readjust a lot of things. It was just it was a readjusting year for sure.
Ahorita tu mamá vive contigo in LA. ¿Cómo fue ese proceso? Obviamente te la mudaste para acá. How was that?
It was, first of all, yo tenía que ir every month to see her. Since I moved here, every single month. When I did my taxes that year, bitch, and I saw how much I spent on like flights, I was like disgusted.
You're like, bitch, that's where all my money's going.
No, literally, it was fucking insane. I would like spend like 3 weeks here, a week there. I couldn't get even used to LA even if I wanted to. So I was just like, you know what? I told her straight up. I was like, I'm not gonna be doing this no more. Like, either you can come here. You're more than welcome to, like, I get a bigger place, like, whatever. She was like, oh, like, I'll do it, whatever. So we did it. I was like, okay, yeah. With this, I set a date, and I was like, pack all your shit, whatever you want to bring, and then that was it. That was that.
That's crazy. So, obviamente, you've been in the industry for so many years. Y en algo que podemos, coincidir, and something that we can both agree in, is that the beauty industry isn't as beautiful as it looks to be. What are some misconceptions or what are some things that you've learned being a part of the beauty industry for so long?
I feel like there are, I'm going to start with the positives. There are a lot of people that are very genuine and nice, like you. Yeah. Not even because you're here, but you are very like, you see online is what you get, straight up, you know? But I feel like there are a lot of people, that are just not it in person. Like they're like, not even saying that there was like an interaction or something. It's just the aura, the energy. Like, it's just people walking around like they think they're better than like everyone, and like it's just, I don't know. It's just not it. Like, okay, I might have like a, what is it called? The resting bitch face. But like, I feel like my energy and my aura once you speak to me is different. But a lot of people are just like,
Like they feel too good to even talk to you.
Yeah.
Did that like bring you down? Obviamente vienes a Los Angeles in an all-time high.
Yeah.
Llegas, experiencias eso y boom, te baja.
I mean, yeah, it grounds you for sure, grounds you. But I feel like if anything, it kind of like made me like, all right, bitch, like I can.
Like me too. I'm that bitch too. Yeah,
exactly. I don't feel like it like made me like victimized like myself. I feel like if anything, it made me like, bitch, who the fuck are you? Like, that's the New York in me, though. I feel like that's how we are. Like, they will literally walk past a whole celebrity and be like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
So that's the energy that I'm like, bitch, like, if anything, it pushes me to want to do even, like, show
more.
you, bitch. Like,
Like, I can do the damn thing, too. You know,
Exactly.
obviamente, you're one of beauty influencers' top influencers. Do you ever feel like, you know, being in the game for so long, do you ever feel the pressure of keeping up with the trends, or just to reinvent yourself to really, you know, make it in a very rapid changing industry?
Oh, 1,000%. Do you not see how many wigs I
You're like, do you not see how much I spend on wigs? That's crazy,
Bitch, girl, like, no, it's a lot. It's so much. I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing, even though it is a bad thing, because it's the anxiety that comes with it. And like, you're like, oh my God, like, is this fat? Like, bro, it's just everything. We look at everything, but also we're in front of people that look at everything too. So it's like I don't even know how long ago this was, but someone commented on my videos and they were like, you have really hairy knuckles, bitch. Ever since then, I have to shave my motherfucking hands, bitch.
You're like, the knuckles, bitch? Lo que la gente se fija, ¿verdad?
¿Quién diablo? Like, I have never looked at nobody's knuckles.
Yeah, me either, bitch. I'm barely looking at my knuckles now. I have for the first time.
They be looking. So I'm like, you guys talk so much fucking shit. Some of y'all, not all of y'all, talk so much shit about, oh, se cambia esto, se cambia eso, cirugía plástica, etc. Do you know what it feels like to get critiqued on like everything?
In a
and
microscope,
I get it comes with the territory and this and that and all of that, but okay, cool. If you seen that I had hairy knuckles, now I'm gonna fix that shit. Thank you for telling me, and I'm getting better. It's like a good and a bad thing, because it helps you get better in certain areas, or like fix certain things that maybe you haven't even realized that you needed to fix. But at the same time, it's just like the critique that comes with it, like, oh, se hizo la nalga, se hizo la teta. All right, so fucking what? If it makes me feel better, if it makes me more pleasing to look at, bitch, then we both are gaining something.
Yeah, I feel like it also comes down to, you know, being so long in the industry.
Yeah.
I feel like la gente piensa que it's okay to comment. You know what I mean? Like, we can sit down here and I think the same way as you. Like, oh, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't come with the territory. If we're really being realistic, it shouldn't fucking come with the territory. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. You don't see me going to you and telling you, ay, estás gorda, estás esto. ¿Por qué no?
Yeah.
So it's like, ¿por qué la gente lo hace muy como normal atacarnos a nosotros? Al fin del día somos humanos, al fin del día sentimos, al fin del día tenemos nuestros defectos. You know what I mean? So it's like, when we're already dealing with shit mentally and people are calling shit out, it gets stressful.
Girl.
And I feel like also, you know, una de las cosas que los dos podemos, you know, I feel like agree on, being in this industry for so long and seeing new people come in, fresh faces, it almost feels like you gotta keep the fuck up.
Oh, you have 1,000%. Living in LA, regardless of what you do, this is the thing. I could be a barista at Starbucks, bitch, and I will still be getting Botox. We live in a city where beauty is very, very highly like a priority. So it's like, doesn't matter what. You're right. It shouldn't come with the fucking territory. We live here. We see. First of all, the first beauty treatments, I feel like we come here, if anything, like they know about shit here first. So it's like, we have to keep up. That's just part of it. I don't want to be left behind, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
How do you deal, you know, with the haters, with the people that are constantly trying to drag you down? How do you deal with that?
I have great friends. That's literally, I have great friends. Literally, I have to record Erica. She has like a whole thing. She'd be like, bitch, you can never look bad. And I'm like, bitch, I need that on like a voice note.
Speed dial or something. Yeah.
So when I'm feeling bad, bitch, I just replay this on literally.
Like on a hotline.
Go to sleep with that shit so it could go in my subconscious mind, bitch. And I could, I feel like, I mean, I read some of the fucking comments. They talk so much shit, but I'm just like, all right, like, I don't, like, I'm happy. I don't give a fuck.
Aquí estás tú viviendo tu vida y ellos están allá miserables comentando. You know what I mean? Which is so fucking crazy. So, una cosa de que yo quiero decir, you're one of the very few influencers that have been able to be so successful without sharing so much of your private life. Que déjate digo una cosa, it's something that is mind-blowing to me porque siento que hoy en día la gente quiere saber el chisme, quiere saber todo de uno. What made you be so private about your like personal life for so long?
I don't really like people in my business as this. Like, I have like maybe like 2 or 3 friends que la llamo and I tell them everything. Besides that, I keep it very, like, I know where to keep people, you know, how, like a certain distance.
Boundaries,
exactly. I wouldn't tell. So I guess that like transpired into what I do, and I want to share more. That's why I told you when we talked about doing this, I'm like, I want to open up. I want to talk about, you know, things, but I've had to get to this point because now I feel like I'm at a point where I don't really give a fuck about getting, like, if people do get in my business now, like, okay, you ask, you know, you're telling people your business, so you can't be like, So I had to get to that point. I feel like I wasn't. You know, there were a lot of things that my fucking family didn't even know about. You know, so
it's nerve-wracking too to open up to the internet and not knowing how to react. You know, obviously, yo ahorita me estoy sentando aquí, te estoy escuchando, y lo que estoy pensando en mi mente is like, how are people going to react to what I just said about being undocumented? You know what I mean? It's like the nerves of like, te va a juzgar la gente, va a decir esto, va a decir esto. And like you said, you already get hate as it is. Now imagine getting hate about your personal life, about your person. That's crazy.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. That's why I'm like, girl, I'd rather just keep it cute, take my L's in silence if I have to, and ya.
Y ya, que no sepan más. Because I feel like the more you share, the more vulnerable you get online. Y la gente toma those vulnerabilities y lo usan para plan de atacarte. You know what I mean? Like, lo usan para plan de hacerte daño. Y it's good that you're in a mindset now to where you're like, chinguen a su madre, yo no voy a dejar que nadie ni nada me haga sentir menos de lo que yo soy. Porque tú eres pinche Melly Sanchez y eso es lo que eres. You know what I mean? So, obviamente, muchos de tus seguidores siempre se andan preguntando, ¿cómo le va en el amor a Melly Sanchez? Amiga, cuéntanos, ¿cómo te va?
Oh my God, my love life is a mess. It's a fucking mess. Ahora mismito, I'm dating. Like, I'm dating someone, but it's nothing like
crazy. It's not gotten to the point where it's like boyfriend, girlfriend.
No. We're just like, you know, dating, like talking, but it's nothing like that. But I don't know. For a while, I feel like I just was going through a lot. I went through a lot of shit with guys. I'm not gonna lie to you, like a lot. Even girls too. Like, even girls too.
Confesándoles aquí en Primer Impacto. Have you opened up about being bisexual?
No, I mean, no, I don't. No, I haven't. But yeah, I do. I like girls and guys too. But I mean, right now, as of lately, I haven't dating more men.
Yeah.
But I have dated women too.
How's that been? You know, obviamente you're bisexual. ¿Cuál es la primera memoria? Or when did you first start, you know, discovering that part of your sexuality?
The girls?
Yeah, the girls.
Girl, the girls were first. Them sleepovers were lit.
Yeah! Bitch. You're like, girl, I was doing a girl before I was doing a guy.
No, seriously. That's the truth. Literally facts.
How was that?
I mean, it was, you know, I was young, bitch. I was like lit. I was just experimenting. I had like this one girl and she was like so experimented, this one friend. And she's like, yeah, do this and do that. And that. Like, she had like a whole guide on how to do certain things. And I'm just like,
you're like, what?
She's like, yeah, let me try it on you. And I was like, okay.
You're like, chingue su madre. Con las patas abiertas.
Yo, oh my God. I hope my mom is not watching this. But yeah, no, that's exactly what happened.
You know, obviously, you know, your mom's a big part of your life. How did you come out to her? Did you hide it from her for a long time? Or como fue? Oh, todavía no sabe.
No, she knows. Okay, so she knows, but it's something we don't
talk about.
Like, she 100% knows because I have to tell you this story. This is how she found out. It's not like I came out. I probably would have never told her. So I was dating this girl at the time, but she was like, you know, like a more masculine look. Yeah. So literally, I used to tell her that it was a guy. And my mom was like, she used to look at her like...
She's like, tiene chichi.
No, she didn't have.
Oh, she didn't? Okay.
Nothing. She literally, like, was one of those girls that was
that
very...
looked passable as men.
Yeah, that was very athletic and this and that. So she looked, like, very, like, masculine. So I used to tell my mom, like, oh, yeah, no, that's a guy. And then, da-da-da. Like, This went on for like a year and a half.
Oh, shit.
Bitch, this
¿Y no
one
se
is-
conocieron en persona?
No.
Sí.
Yes. She used to be. So then, fucking, what happened? The girl went to get liquor, and then she came back, and she had like more bags. She had bought like groceries and stuff. So she's like bringing in. She put like her bag, her keys and her ID on the counter. Hold on, bitch. And then I'm grabbing bags too. She's grabbing bags. We forgot.
Yeah.
Girl, then I go in my studio, and then we're like drinking and shit. You know, I'm about to do my makeup. My mom calls my phone. Meanwhile, she's like in the next room. I'm like, what the fuck does she want? So I'm like, dime. And she's like, ven al cuarto. And then she called me Marta. That's like my real name. She's like, ven al
get
cuarto.
serious.
Oh, I was like, fuck. I'm still not thinking. I'm like, what the fuck does she want?
Yeah. You're like, why are you bugging?
No,
Yeah.
Girl, so I go, and she's like, she threw the idea at me, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm shook. And then she's like, I knew it. You fuck. She's crying. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was, like, I shouldn't be laughing. It was sad. I felt bad, but at the same time, I was so caught off guard that I was like, what the fuck is going on? So she's like, I knew it. Lo sabía. Que ella era mujer. Lo sabía. And she's crying.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like... She's like, mira, ahí dice F. And then she goes, she doesn't know English.
Yeah.
She's like, dice F, eso es para mujer. I know that. Es lo mismo en español. And I was like, oh my fucking God. I literally just didn't say anything, and I just closed the door.
And you're like, bye. Let me go finish what I was doing, Mom. I'll be
Girl,
right back.
I didn't know what to say. Because now I'm just like, all right, like I'm this age, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, so who the fuck cares? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
How
paying,
old were you?
Bitch, I was like 27.
Okay. So yeah. Ya
So
estabas
I'm
más
like,
grande.
girl, like I'm paying all the bills here. I'm taking care of you. Like who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
What I could be fucking a fucking pillow, bitch. Who cares? At that point. So then she comes in the room, and then she's like, I told the girl at the time, she's like, oh my God, like, what are you gonna do? What should I do? Should I leave? And I'm just like, nah, chill. Like, you're good. Like, she'll get over it. Bitch, my mom comes in there, starts wilding. She's like, a little bit of English she could like come out with.
Yeah.
Girl, it's like, liar, telling
Y la
Yo.
girl was like, como de que, ay, ¿en qué me metí, güey?
She was like, yo, your mom is like, my mom was very, very aggressive,
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
her face, like, liar. Me mintieron las dos, da. And she's like, I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, I felt so bad. So I was like, yeah, you should go. So then, like, I want to say like 2-3 weeks went by, and me and my mom were just like, we spoke barely. Like,
Minimal.
she's like, cociné, ahí está. And then she'll go in her room. Like, things like that. Like, it was so bad. But then I started dating a guy. Because I think she thought I was like a lesbian.
Lesbian, full on. Yeah.
Full on. Which I never was. But I never really had a lot of relationships, like, where I would feel comfortable for the guy to come be my mom. Like, so she never really saw that. She only saw this girl. And she's like, oh, hell no. My daughter's a lesbian. Like, then months passed. I started dating a guy. And then he met my mom. She shouldn't have, but whatever. He met my mom, so then she's like, okay. So
She's
then
normal.
She's normal. So she started, after that, we don't even talk about it. Like, she asked me, like, oh, what happened to so-and-so? And I'm like, oh, you know, I think she's good. I don't know. I don't talk to her. And then we say her now, which is crazy, because before we always would say him. So she had to like...
mask it, yeah.
Yeah, she had to, like, now she's like, okay. And then she will sometimes say him, and then she fixes it, and she says her, because to her, she was always him.
Yeah.
It's...
You know what's so crazy? I feel like your relationship with your mom is about your sexuality is kind of like the relationship I have with my dad.
Yeah.
You know, obviamente he knows I'm gay. He knows I live with my boyfriend. He knows I've been with my boyfriend for 6 years. Pero nunca hemos tenido una plática de que, hey, Dad, I'm gay. Hey, Dad, this is... I mean, obviously I'd be like, this is my man because, like, ya las familias se unieron.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, you know, weird. When was the moment that you feel like your mom changed her aparecer and you feel like you were, like, a little bit more accepted?
I feel like...
Right away?
No, right away. Accepted. Hell no. Like, even after that, I had to lie to her and be like, I don't talk to her no more, which I still was talking to the girl. So, like, I would have to, like, lie, like, take Erica with me to places and be like, oh, no, I'm going with Erica only. And then if she found out, she'd start throwing a tantrums and, like, not talking to me. And it was a mess. Until I started dating guys in front of her, that's when it was like, okay, like, she's good.
Like, she's good.
She's
like, nomás
good.
fue una temporada.
Ajá.
Fue un, ¿cómo
A fling.
le dicen? A fling, ajá.
So yeah, but I mean, she was never like disrespectful, but like at the same time, she wasn't like.
It was like a hard pill to swallow. I think, you know, as her daughter, your only daughter, and I'm sure she's like at the beginning, she's like, yo quiero que mi hija tenga hijos, quiero que haga una familia, quiero nietos, and then se topa con una girl, and you're like, fuck, ¿cómo vamos a hacer eso? That must have been crazy, you know.
Yep.
Obviously, dating in a heterosexual world is already difficult as it is. Do you feel like dating became harder as a bisexual woman?
I feel
like the doors opened up, actually.
I feel like if anything, you got more options, which is great. Girl, I can pick up from any shelf. I feel like men always have a lot of options, bitch. If you got girls and guys, you got the upper hand a little bit. But I don't know. I feel like I didn't really have an issue dating women. Like, never. If anything, I was more of like I don't even know what I would say, but I was like the one that would like run shit in the relationship with women. But then like...
You were the girl.
I was the girl.
Because girls usually run shit in a relationship.
I was like the girl, but like I was running. But like with men, sometimes you gotta like take a seat like a little bit. And that's what I find hard doing, because I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like, you know, because that's what I'm used to, popping my shit. But sometimes you gotta just like... Calmate.
Calmate.
When dating a guy. So I have to like learn how to, you know.
Like you want to be dominant when you're dating a girl, but then you're like, I also don't want to be too dominant when I'm dating a man.
Yeah, because I don't want a fucking feminine guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
You're like, bitch, eres tú el hombre o la mujer. So obviamente, you know, you came out being bisexual. ¿Qué es algo que tú sientes que has aprendido since coming out?
To my mom?
Or just in general?
I feel like I never really like made a statement about anything. So I just live my life, bitch. Like, I feel like no one knew what I was.
Yeah, because one thing I was going to say is like, si tú no nos hubieras dicho, nunca hubieras sabido. Cuando yo te dije, ¿de qué quieres hablar? Y tú me dijiste, well, I want to open up about this. Yo ni en cuenta, güey. Yo dije... Quedé así igual de impactado que ustedes, güey. So, like, how do you do it? Like, obviously, te miramos en un club, te miramos out in public. You never would have thought. How do girls do it to, like, hit on you? Or do you go up to them and hit on them to make it known?
Girl, I don't go up to
You're like, fuck that. No, a mí me vienen en línea.
No, literally. So, I don't know. They just know. Or they're just so bold.
Sense it,
They're just, fuck it. Even if it's not, that maybe I could turn her. I don't know what the fuck they think, but... They're bold. They're bold.
You know, ahorita estás aquí sentada en my podcast y yo quiero saber qué es algo que tú quisieras ver decirle a Melly Sanchez de cuando estabas súper chiquita. What's something that you would have wished, you know, she would have known?
Oh my God. Not everyone's your friend. And don't look for like outside, like to validate anything that you even have insecurities about or anything. Like that should come from you, and to be grateful for like whatever situation, how fucked up it's been. It could be fucking worse. Like I've had people whose story is way crazier. So I feel like just to be like, you know, always have goals and obviously want to do better for yourself, but you're here to learn like certain things that are going to help you once you do get to that point. So it's like everything happens in line.
Patient.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Girl, I'm still struggling with that.
Girl, same. I'm like, hoy en día, it's like, it's a thing that you have to constantly battle and just know everything's going to be okay. A veces hacemos un problemita into our whole life. Like
before it even happens.
Right? Like I'm fucking guilty of that. I'll make little things like the whole deal, like my whole life. And I'm just like, wait, no es nada para hacerlo tan grande. So it's all about being patient. You know, obviamente, I feel very grateful that you came on and, you know, you opened up. Que me inspiraste, güey, hasta to open up about something that I've never opened up. Y por siempre te lo voy a agradecer. ¿Qué es algo que tú te miras haciendo in the next 5 years? ¿En dónde va a estar Melly Sanchez?
Oh, Melly Sanchez va a estar rica in Pacific Palisades or Malibu, somewhere, bitch, in a house, living her best life. But I see myself as having like a couple businesses for sure. I'm actually working on 2 as we speak. I don't want to really say too much, but I'll tell you once they're like a little bit more developed. But that I just want to like just live. Like I want to do other things besides what we're doing, because this is a lot of anxiety. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
So as grateful as I am for doing this, I want to do more things. Like I want to do other things, and I'm still gonna do this, but like have fun with it.
Let
again.
this be like your second life,
exactly,
not your main income or your main life. Yeah. And I feel like as we get older, we kind of because even me, I'm 25, I started doing this shit 15, 16. And as I get older, I'm just like, wait, no me miro yo haciendo tutoriales, no me miro haciendo videos a los 80, 60, 50 años.
Quiero lifting your fucking
literally, bitch, ¿cómo estás, pinche? A los ya con canas en el culo y todo.
Oh my God.
Like, obviamente, you see yourself being a businesswoman, having, your own things que a lo mejor esto ya va a ser secondary, you know what I mean? Y yo sé que vas a lograr todas tus metas. Whatever businesses you're working on, yo sé que van a ser un pinche, a big hit, Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Espero que ustedes allá en casita también la pudieron conocer un poquito más. I feel like they got to know a little bit more behind the face. Te miramos una hermosura de mujer, pero ahora ya pudimos ver un poquito más de quién es Melly Sanchez, and I'm super happy for that.
Thank you for like giving me the platform to talk, because it's just hard to say a lot of things that you want to say sometimes. So thank you for having me.
And it is really, it's different. Yo pienso que cuando alguien te pregunta, cuando estás en plática, salen más naturales las cosas. Because I won't lie, there's been many times where I've been like, because I've been so secure with my immigration status for so long.
Me too.
And there's been so many times where, like my boyfriend, my best friend know that there's been many times where I'm like, I'm going to do a sit down video. Pero luego me da miedo. No sé cómo empezarlo. No sé cómo decirlo. No sé cómo contar, you know what I mean? And I feel like cuando alguien te está platicando, cuando estás...
It's more normal.
It's normal. It's like...
You don't feel like... And I feel like you may think the same, that if you do a video about things like that, people are like, oh, nada más quiere atención. Like, now you're talking about it, like, girl, bye. Like
why didn't you talk about it when you first started?
Exactly. But, like, you don't even know. Like, bro, families had our address. They could have been like, te llamo la migra. You got into an argument with them, bitch. They would have called that shit on you so fast.
Literally, to me, the reason also why I, for so many years on social media, lo oculté, was because, I will sit down here and say that when I was young, it wasn't as seen normal as it is now. Not that it seemed normal, but I feel like now la gente ahora ya es más...
Well, everyone's more like...
understanding.
Yeah, about everything.
Antes era la migra. El chiste de la migra no se quitaba. You know what I mean? And as a kid, causa trauma. Like, ¿qué tal que sí le llamen a la migra? ¿Qué tal que sí? ¿Qué tal que no? Like, so for a long time, yo dije, no. Esa parte de mi vida va a estar oculta. Nadie va a saber esto porque no quiero que me dañen con eso. And I feel like...
Atrás del velo, like
literally,
they say. Literally.
I feel like, what made me come to terms with who I am? My boyfriend. He's always been super proud and super out there about his immigration status, that it made me change and see things in life like, why am I scared? Why am I, hiding my true self from people? Si es el que soy. Si la gente me va a querer, me va a apoyar por quien soy y no por lo que piensan que soy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So...
I love that. Honestly, it's good that you have someone like that, because we've always been like, oh no, like hide it, ocúltalo. Like even from our parents or like people around us, you have to. So to have like an example of someone that's like living free, it like helps you.
It motivates
you 1,000% to just like fuck it.
Yo también quiero eso. Y honestamente, you guys, not that this is about me, because aquí estamos por ti, güey. Pero lo que sí quiero decir, lo único que quiero terminar esta parte of the episode with es que me siento libre.
I love that.
Me siento mejor. I feel like a weight off my shoulder.
Me too.
And si la gente me va a criticar otra vez, 98% of the people that are going to criticize me are going to be people que tienen el privilegio de ser mexicanos, pero tener papeles. O gente que nunca han vivido en un país donde les dicen constantemente que no son aceptados. I know all my dreamers, I know all the people that follow me that are undocumented.
They get it.
They know they know the struggle.
Me and you had similar walks of life, but at the same time so different. And yet I can relate 1,000% with everything that you, like your whole story. So it's like, if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, then this is not your fucking lane to even have an opinion on. I'm sorry. Like,
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is, porque yo por mucho tiempo, muchos de mis amistades me decían, why do you hide it? Why do you hide it? Like, you're embarrassed, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, yeah, you say that because, yeah, you're proud to be Mexican, but let me tell you something. You have your papers. You're legally here.
And just because, not to cut you off, but just because you don't speak on your immigration status does not mean that you're not proud to be Mexican. Because, bitch, I make videos.
I'm proud.
My little flag was on until companies had me fucking filling up my bio with bullshit that I had to delete, like, you know, symbols out of it. My flag was there. I have no problem. That's like, I'm Dominican 1,000%. I love that I'm Dominican. So it's like, it's not that we're like ashamed or scared to say. It's not that. It's just. This could be you. It's a weapon. It's like a weapon that can be used against you at some point if they wanted to.
And I'm so happy.
I'm not
with
gonna
DACA.
give you anything.
Yeah, literally. I feel like if I didn't have DACA, I wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. Because siento que la gente va a decir, le voy a llamar a la migras en donde vives. Güey, llámala. Aquí yo la espero. Like, I'm legally here. And I'm so proud to be able to have this convo with you and just relate with you in a different form. You know, yo sé que mucha gente va a tener muchas preguntas, pero eso ya va a ser otro topic. Pero sí, muchas gracias, amiga. Espero que pudieron aprender un poquito más de Melly. I'm super, super glad that you were here.
No, I'm so happy to be here. Honestly, this was great. Like, I didn't even feel like we were
I know, you didn't feel like a plática.
No,
I literally was telling you, I was like,
some, like, mimosas.
I'm like, we didn't even need all the tequila in the world. We were good. It was a plática y espero que ustedes allá en casita también les encantó. If you guys want to go ahead and follow Melly, I'm going to go ahead and leave all her socials down below as well as on the screen right now. Y también no se les olvide seguirme a mí para que no se pierdan any future episodes. And with that being said, thank you once again for being here.
Thank you, babe. Thank you so much.
And thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Oh my God, I am so nervous to edit this shit. Like, girl.